Welcome back to Discover Crypto. Today's video is a big one because we're going to start jumping into the Polkadot Parachain auctions. In particular, we're going to focus on Litentry because I have information regarding what the rewards will be. This is before the actual Parachain auctions begin on the 5th of November 2021. So this is a great chance to look at a prospective Parachain project on Polkadot, check out the rewards, see if it's potentially worth our while, what options we have, whether we like the project, and I'm going to say under what circumstances I'm considering investing and backing this project. So yeah, let's jump into the video. So what we know is that the Polkadot Parachain auctions, the contributions, I believe, are going to begin from the 5th of November, and then the actual auctions are going to start from the 11th of November. There's some great information here on parachains.info if anyone wants to learn more. Now in today's video we're going to focus on Litentry. In my research I found that this was a project to do with decentralized identity management, and it enables the private sharing of data that can be attributed to a user with an identifier. This strikes me as being similar to KYC and Know Your Consumer, and there's a similar project called Kilt Protocol which has already won a parachain auction on Kusama. So Litentry is something that could be valuable to the Polkadot ecosystem, and it has received a fund from the Web3 Foundation, and it's quite, with Litentry, it gets quite in depth if you want to learn the intricacies of the code and how the project works. So I've got an article here on Medium that I'm going to link you to in the description by a user called Sales Wallet, and they show that basically a cross-chain identity can be used to connect, a layer 0 like Polkadot with another layer 0 like Kusama, and then layer 1s like Kilt, Akala, and then outside of that the information can be linked across to DeFi and even things like in social media or mainstream internet. And this is basically what Litentry is trying to make possible. Now it does get more in depth, so for anyone who wants to look at the light paper or white paper, I'm going to link to both of those, but you can really get in depth with this project if you want to learn the intricacies. But what I found important is that the Lit token in this ecosystem, there's going to be 4 use cases, and with any token it needs to have use cases to have value. And these use cases will be fee for credit / reputation computation, rewards for indexed identity databases, staking for being an identity registrar, and deposits in DeFi. So it's good to know that if you're investing in something like Lit, it will serve a purpose. Now with Lit, regarding the tokenomics, there is a total supply of 100 million. Now from this information here, you can see that there is actually a Lit token available. This has been released on ERC20. There's going to be a Polkadot version released if Lit wins a parachain and launches on to Polkadot. But as of today, you can go and look at the Lit token on CoinGecko.com or CoinMarketCap, and it's hovering around the $5.50 range. Now, going to the full list of initial contenders for the parachain auctions, on this list, Litentry is one of the few that already has a token available that you can go and acquire. And I find this to be interesting because it lets us do a comparison of how much benefit you can get for loaning your Polkadot. So there is basically we have information available now on the Crowdloan. There was a Medium article published by Litentry. So what we know is that there is a large token reward pool of 20 million lit, and Litentry explains that there is an $8 million hard cap, and that there's a minimum contribution of 5 DOT. This is standard by DOT. Every project pretty much will have a minimum contribution of 5 DOT required. And in this campaign, there's a deadline of 17th of December. But what's important to look at is that there is a hard cap of 8 million DOT. Now, if the hard cap is reached, every DOT that is received will be the equivalent of 2.5 lit. Now, in my opinion, if it reaches that level, I think the project becomes less appealing, because I was doing some basic calculations, and if the hard cap of DOT is met, this would value lit at approximately $20 based on DOT going through the recent all-time high of $50. So, and it feels a little bit excessive to me. However, if there were to be if 4 million were to be contributed and DOT were to win a Parachain auction, then this would put it at $10, and that would be more interesting, I feel. So with lit, I'm sort of watching this and wondering if I can jump in later. It means that I'll miss out on any early bird bonuses, but I don't really care, because I do own some lit, because you can currently get it on Binance, and the price on Binance, as we said earlier, it's around $5.50. Now, if we're talking about Polkadot at $50 and the hard cap is reached, that's about $20 for lit. And a lot of people are very bullish on Polkadot, and now I'm not saying Polkadot is going to go to $100 or more, but a lot of analysts are feeling that way and are confident that way. I've actually taken a little bit of profit, around $50. I don't have a large bag of DOT, but I am holding some that I'm planning to sell, and I'm holding some back for the auctions. Now, whenever I'm looking at my consideration in DOT, I have the highest I've paid for DOT was $20. So if I'm putting in 5 DOT at $20 and the hard cap is reached, that's sort of pricing lit at around $8 in my circumstances. And with the Parachain auctions, I think it's important to consider that if you're late to the party and you're just buying DOT for the first time now, I think it's risky to contribute it, because although you're going to get it back in 96 weeks, which is the lockup period once a Parachain auction has been won, your potential, if you can't afford to lose that money, you're exposing yourself to numerous increases and decreases in price, and it might not feel great. Maybe you're fine with it, maybe you're not. In my case, I'm not really going to mind crowdloaning for 96 weeks, because I've said my highest entry price is $20 on DOT. I built up a position weeks ago, and I'm going to keep some DOT to sell. I might leave some in staking on Kraken. But whenever it comes to the crowd loans, I have to look at Litentry in comparison to the other projects. Yep, the reward pool is currently one of the best looking at 20%. I like the 100 million total supply. Whenever you've got fewer tokens in circulation, that can lead to more volatile and higher price increases. However, I personally would want more than 2.5 lit for 1 DOT, considering that you can currently buy it as of today, at the time of recording this video, at just under $5.50. I've already bought a little bit of lit. I might go back and get more. So with lit, I'll potentially get involved if I see this as an opportunity where, lit, we're getting towards the end of the Parachain auctions, maybe it's the 4th or the 5th, and there's a couple of days left and Lit is maybe at a quarter of its allocation or of its target, I might jump in then if I'm getting the chance to, get more than 2.5 Lit, because getting more than 2.5 Lit all depends on not reaching that hard cap. Now, if I show you the Kusama situation, you can see that there are currently some auctions ongoing, and you know what, not every project is going to reach its hard cap, whenever it wins a parachain auction. So that puts you in a position of, I think, whenever there's a project you're not in love with but you really like and you do think it has potential but it might be slightly riskier, you maybe wait towards the end of the parachain auction and jump in later, because I don't think you need to jump in quickly with Lit, because based on what I've seen with Kusama, okay, Akala has a sister chain called Karura on Kusama, and that was the first winner on Kusama. So I'm expecting Akala to come out guns blazing and potentially win the first parachain auction between the 11th of November and the 18th. After that, so Moonbeam's sister chain on Kusama was Moon River, and that won one of the earlier chains. So I'm potentially expecting Moonbeam to win the second slot. Now, this isn't guaranteed. This is just what I believe. And then after that, I think it could get very competitive for the remaining projects. And in the case of Litentry, there's going to be potentially some rewards for getting involved earlier, but then you might be locking yourself into a situation where you're not getting a good return of Lit for your DOT, and that can be a major issue if you've been buying your DOT at around $50 or higher. If you've been getting in at around similar prices to me or even earlier than that, then you might not be as worried by 2.5 Lit. For anyone who is sold on the project and in love with the project and wants to get involved quickly, well, you can contribute through Polkadot.js. I'm waiting for compatibility on the Fearless wallet because the exchanges will charge high costs on your fees for getting involved and contributing. So there's a bunch of bonuses here, early bird bonus from participating in some of the decentralized identification activities. With Lit's mobile app, you can get bonuses of up to 10%. And also there's going to be failure compensation if Lit doesn't win in the first 5 parachain auctions and, comes back for another run at it. So with Lit here, there's no guarantee Lit's going to even win in the first 5, so there could be a bonus for that. So even if you come late to the party, there could be a little bit more Lit coming your way. Now, with Lit, I was doing some research on the vesting, and vesting basically means how often the rewards are going to be provided. And so basically the Lit rewards will be distributed linearly in each block. And I was reading on some of the other projects, this basically, they haven't clarified it exactly with Lit, but you could be getting your Lit every 6 weeks, so you won't be getting it all at once. So that's another consideration. If you don't like the distribution plan, then maybe it's not for you. But if you love the project and we don't get close to the hard cap, we're only at about half or a quarter for Lit to win, then it could become appealing and it might not be a problem. And as I've said before, you will have it locked up for 96 weeks. So that means you will not be able to sell your Polkadot if it surges past $100. So you need to think about that. Are you going to feel FOMO for not being able to sell it over $100 if DOT gets there? So every decision, every person's going to be in a unique situation here with Lit. Now, in my own situation, now this isn't financial advice, I'm just talking about how I'm approaching this. I'm looking at the chart here on TradingView. So when Lit at one point when we entered the bearish period in the spring and summer, we were talking at around about a bottom of around $2 for Lit. It recovered to go up to just below $6. When it was hitting its heights, we're talking about all-time highs here of nearly $15 for Lit. It's available now. We're sitting at a little bit of resistance here, but it's still available around $5.50 now. Based on how the project is planning to be priced, based on the DOT available. You know, the people running this project are expecting the price to go much higher. So I have bought some lit on Binance. I think I might get a little bit more. I've drawn a Fibonacci retracement here, so if it comes down to around $5.10, I might be interested. Polkadot's quite hot right now. Now that we're in November and the Parachains auctions are coming and they're going to begin, so there could be a run on some of these projects. So I'm not really expecting lit to get much lower. As for the project, I am more excited about Akala, Astar, and Moonbeam, and I'm going to record videos on those once I have more information on the projects. However, I do like the total 100 million supply of lit. I think the project serves a purpose. In reading some of the reports, and like by Binance and another one that I'm going to link with you on Medium, you know, it does serve a purpose. This is going to help out decentralized finance, and DeFi is a huge narrative in crypto, and if it means getting more people involved, you know, that can only be a good thing. And whenever we're looking at the token release here, you know, there's a graph here in the Binance report if you're wanting to check out, you know, how much we're going to see released. And so there's going to be a bit of a spike here coming in January. So there's going to be a spike from December to January. And so I'm sort of, any lit that I buy, and if there's big price increases coming in December, I'll probably sell, because if there's a larger supply coming, that can increase sell pressure. And I'll just make sure to link you to all this information so that if you're interested in lit, you can have a good deep dive all on your own, because there's a lot to consider. With the DOT auctions, you know, you're not giving away your DOT, you will get it back. And I recommend staying safe when you do this process. And by that, I mean, I am personally not going to contribute any DOT directly to the website of a project. Even if there's a bonus available, I'm going to do it completely through the Fearless wallet. The Polkadot.js extension is another option. I'll provide links to all of these in the description. And I'm definitely not doing it through an exchange, even though I stake via Kraken, because I can unbond in the space of an hour. It leaves me very responsive, and I still get a 12% return on my staking. So even though I stake through Kraken, I am not going to be contributing through Kraken, because the fee, there can be a 10% fee at times when you're contributing via there, and that's going to eat into your rewards. And I don't think any of us want that to happen. Whereas I just withdraw from Kraken to my Fearless wallet, and I'm going to contribute that way. With lit, I doubt this is going to be... Okay, you know what, I'm just going to come to my conclusion now. So with lit, I don't think I'm going to contribute to this first of all, because I'm concerned about reaching the 8 million hard cap and only receiving 2.5 lit per DOT. If DOT were to go up to $100, I mean, this is putting an insanely high valuation on the lit that's available, and you might actually prefer selling your DOT or continue staking it. This might be more beneficial. So in my case, I have quite reasonable entry prices on DOT. They're all $20 or lower. So if the hard cap is only going to be a half or a quarter, and it's coming up to the end of the Parachain auctions and lit is making a last push to win, I'd certainly consider contributing, you know, if I'm potentially going to get 5 or more lit or something like that. But also, I think I feel less urgent about acting in this way, because if you really want to get involved with lit, it's still at a decent price of just under $5.50, and you know, there's a lot of room to increase up to those sort of levels beneath $15, those all-time highs. Whereas with some of the other projects, they don't have tokens released yet, so you know, your only way to acquire them initially will be to loan DOT. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting for it to come onto the open market, and there'd be a heck of a lot of demand, to be honest with you, because based on Kusama, some of the coins that were launching had massive early increases. But I'm interested in Lit. I think it serves a good purpose. There's room to grow in price. However, I'm waiting to see how the offer shakes out. And there are lots of more interesting projects coming in the Polkadot Parachain auctions, and I'm going to try and cover as many of the best ones as I can in videos in the coming days. So you can expect to see more from me coming up here, most likely next week. And my focus is probably going to be on Akala, Moonbeam, a Star, and then I'm going to work my way down the list based on what's available. So please like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it useful. I'm going to be back with more Polkadot Parachain videos because I think it's important to provide clear information on what's available and not just dazzle people saying, oh, there's going to be loads of rewards, oh, it's going to be easy, and then they don't tell you that your dot's actually going to be locked for 96 weeks and you won't be able to sell it. However, you will get it back, so there is that benefit. But anyway, thanks again for watching, and I've been Mike of Discover Crypto. Have a good day.